So let's talk a bit about Dream Centre.
Yes, sir.
What's the weekly attendance? Is it like a mega church? How many people?
Well, they're actually launching another service, and right now between all the services, because we actually have 2 Hispanic churches, a Filipino church, a Japanese church, a Romanian church, and Armenian, and we have our English services. And so between all the services, there's about 6,000 people that attend the church every week. And but it wasn't always like that, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the ironic thing is that the paradigm of the way it started. You know, being in the youth ministry, I've noticed we had an opposite paradigm than most churches do. A lot of churches, you know, they get together and they have a community of believers, and then at one point they say, you know what, we need to reach out. And they begin to start reaching out, and you know, those families reach out and they love on people in their community and bring them in and show them the love of Christ. But Pastor Matthew started the inversely. You know, he started with the outreach, and because he didn't have any families going to his church, he didn't have those families, so he literally had to just bring people off the street and disciple them, show them the way, and then as it began to grow, as the church began to grow, people started falling in love with the mission of the church, and then as it began to build, now it's kind of snowballed to the fact where other, you know, people from around the LA area are excited about the vision. Young couples and married couples and families now are coming to the church, and so for a youth pastor, you know, a lot of times I hear this a lot. A lot of times, the youth pastor has a problem because they start reaching out and doing bus routes, and then, you know, some of the parents, there's a paradigm because you got kids coming in that maybe they have foul mouth, so they have bad problems, and they're intermingling with other kids, and they're afraid that there's going to be some kind of lapse there. Well, we had the other dynamic where, you know, in our youth group, I would say 95% of the kids that were part of the youth ministry didn't have parents that go to church.
Wow.
And so it's a total shift for us. And so then all of a sudden now parents are coming and their kids are coming. And so I had to go the opposite way. So we had to go from how are we going to integrate people that have solid families into kids that don't have solid families.
Yeah, wow.
And so we had that. So the Dream Center now has become this amazing phenomenon there in Los Angeles, opposite of way a lot of times it always happens. And so now it's like it hasn't always seen this growth. But because they stayed faithful doing the small things, now it's got to a point where now it's kind of the growth perpetuates itself, if that makes any sense. And so it's been going really, really well.
And there's a big focus on rehabilitation. And do you guys have one of the highest percentages of, you know, people getting off drugs in the country? Is that one of the... Yes,
well, yeah. The main thing is this. I would say definitely within our graduates. Because if someone's willing to go through a year-long program and at the church, they're definitely committed to Christ, and they're focused, you know, and I think that aspect of church has changed my life. Seeing somebody, you know, it's like, I always say, you know, sometimes we've done a great job of making converts, but not so great of a job of making disciples.
Yeah.
And that's not a slant on anybody. I'm talking about myself, you know, and but I think that was one of the most powerful things I've ever seen is when someone lives there, you know, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You know, they're living there, they're breathing, eating, sleeping, breathing Jesus. And we're not talking about people that just want to come dedicate because they're missionaries. These are people that are coming right off the street.
Yeah.
They had, you know, a lot of them don't have any, you know, there was a young man named Jose who was he didn't speak an ounce of English. He was a Hispanic guy, and he all he spoke was Spanish. Didn't speak one drop of English. He would come and sit in our chapel. He was there when I was there, and he literally couldn't even understand what the guy was saying in chapel. But he stayed put. Something in his heart told him to stay put. And by the time he graduated, by the year when he graduated, he, number one, could understand and speak English.
Wow.
And number two, he did a complete New Testament survey.
Really? Isn't that amazing?
Went all the way through Matthew all the way to Revelation, verse by verse, doing commentaries and sermons and the thing that we had to go through. And literally finished it all, and now he works for Metro Ministries, and is just dominating for Jesus.
And I bet you there's hundreds and hundreds of more miracles.
Yeah.
Now, you talked before about, like, I love how your church meets the physical need and the spiritual need. You know, you're very big on both, which is wonderful. Let's talk now to those listeners, or those that are watching this on YouTube, that have that spiritual need. There might be people listening that have never given their life to God and don't know what to do. Speak to those that are listening now and coach them through how to do that.
Well, I think the key is the recognition that you can't do it on your own, and that's one of the things that we really focus on within not just in a recovery home, but every aspect of what we do is that it is God to do. Because I mean the very essence of salvation is that you come to the realization that you need a Savior. And that's what we instill in everyone that works here. No matter where you are, where you find yourself. No matter it doesn't matter if you're in where I mean, in New York, we go to the Port Authority and people are homeless and they have nothing. And then I'm meeting with people at Wall Street that have a lot. But through all those, they still have that need. They have a need for Jesus Christ. It's the recognition of coming to the fact that, hey, I need a Savior. I can't do this on my own. And so we really try to focus on the fact that it's not about what you used to be. It's about what He's called you to be.
Yeah.
And God's called us all out of different situations. No matter where you find yourself, God will call you out of your situation and into a new future. And that's what we want to focus on is people grabbing a hold of the destiny that God has for their life. And, just their purpose and their plan and walking it out. And, every single day, one of our scriptures we had memorized was John 8:31-32. Then Jesus said to those Jews who believed in Him, if you abide in my word, you're my disciples indeed. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And I just believe that with all my heart, that if you focus on loving people, loving God, and abiding in His word, then you truly will be set free from anything that's holding you back.
Well, Brad, I reckon you're a history maker, mate. It's been such a privilege to get to know you and hear about your ministry. If people want to find out more, what's the best website for them to go to? Oh,
man, thank you so much. Yeah, if anybody wants to learn more about the Dream Center, they can simply just go to www.dreamcenter.org.
And that's Dream Center spelt American.
Yep. Yes.
C-E-N-T-E-R.
That's right.
You guys spell it wrong, or do we spell it wrong? I don't know.
We probably spell it wrong, but it's C-E-N-T-E-R. So.
Okay, and they can have a look there at the LA or the New York Dream Center, find out more about what you do. And mate, I really have been blessed to get to know you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.